All right, okay, family. All right, okay. What's going on this evening? Or early morning. Actually, your boy up early morning right now. We hyped, man. We hyped. We are hyped today, family. We hyped this morning, right? Um, there's something about a podcast, y'all, that I think is really cool, really impactful, right? And that is that it's almost as if these different people who do this thing, right? It's like they leave a memoir of themselves, you know? It's like, especially for the real successful ones, they're getting paid to leave a diary, which in reality, that's what books are. Books are just written versions of that. So you're seeing something in real time from a person's life. Because again, a person teaches you as much as they've learned. Ladies and gentlemen, as much as I've learned is, and we've said this because it's real, right? As much as I learn is what I impart. Another person, for as much as they learn, they impart, so on and so forth. And then you kind of put it together as a puzzle, right? Pieces of the puzzle. Today's episode, family, what we're going to talk about are parts of the pieces of that puzzle, right? Certain things we have to square away with, certain things we have to understand, certain things we're going to have to overstand our understanding, right? So that we have more of a level playing field and playing ground here as we deal with the things of life, because we've been lied to, y'all, right? You heard me say that on this podcast in its outset. Ain't nothing changed. We've been lied to, okay? And we're going to talk about some of those things today. So family, welcome in, or this morning, I should say. Family, welcome in us, who are almost the 1,100 plus strong, who believe in, who love on. All right, this is the month of love. This the weekend, right? Valentine's Day weekend. Happy Valentine's Day weekend out there, family, right? Who love on, believe in, search for hunger and thirst after that, which is a different view. Family, welcome in. This one may or may not be for the babies. We're going to try not to use colorful language. We're going to try. Okay, we're going to try. This one's important to your boy tonight. Oh, man. Early morning, night. The moon, like we said before, man. Evening and morning is the first day. The whole day. Night and day, right? See, we don't think in things the way we should. We now think as Massa wants us to look at that good image, but that's not the one that comes from the maker. And the one that comes from the maker doesn't know this stuff we've been talking about. Yeah. You're talking about, now, again, we're going to speak on some things that are spiritual. So for some of us in the family, right, not Christian, you may want to listen up, right? Because these are things that are probably in your wheelhouse that you've heard, that in your own lives you've expanded upon, right? Again, there's certain things that those of the Abrahamic faiths put away, unfortunately, that is actually part of the game, but it's okay. Like the children of Israel, we got more than enough time to keep going around that mountain until we get it, man. You know what? Let's just look at this in real time here, just to put that in before we continue on in today's topic, right? Which we haven't said yet what that topic is and why I'm up this late, right? Simple question. We got to stop acting like the information is not at our fingertips. We just don't want to know. There's a difference. But depending on how far you want to go in life, and again, family, we recognize that certain folks are okay right where they at. You got to identify those folks in your life, but certain people are just, depending on how far you want to go in your own life, right? And this is not to set division. We're just saying what it is. Okay? Where a brick wall is and where there ain't a brick wall don't really mean there's division between the no wall and the wall. It means you know where a wall is and where it ain't. That's all. Whether you want to run into the wall or whether you want to go around it. Which one do you want? Do you want to paint pretty little pictures and decorate the wall, or do you want to go around it to where you need to be? All right, this is how it is in life, and again, we're not really making fun of folks. We're just using an illustration here what's going on in life. Some people are really they put a house around the walls in their life. Some people do not. Right? It is what it is. How long? This is what you ask your phone or computer. Was the trip in the desert. Supposed to be. Let me see if I can. It's a lot of words I'm writing. I'm typing, I should say. Writing. To be for Israel. So now they say 40 years, right? That's how long they were supposed to. But there is a thing here that has been put around in circles here, that the actual trip is shorter than 40. It is supposed to be shorter than 40 days. So let's... this is the part where you would have this is the part where you have that music going on right now. Oh man, let's see here. Less than 2 weeks, right? Again, this you find that journeythrough.org, the actual time that the trip in the desert was, and I just clicked on the link, supposed to be, right? Was supposed to be. Less than 2 weeks. That thing turned into 40 years, ladies and gentlemen. 40 years because of grumblings and complaining. And as your Bible says, strivings about the law. You waste your time going back and forth, talking all this mess when it don't mean nothing to the maker. Some of these things that were put here, ladies and gentlemen, was put here so that we live decently in order. Believe that, right? So that we have a level of life and godliness. Believe that. You know, some of the things that your Christian brothers and brothers and sisters are saying, it was again, that we part of the three folks in the Abrahamic faiths. I got to say it. We cut out our Muslim brothers and sisters, and we're wrong. We cut out the Palestinian people were wrong, y'all. We part of the family. We part of the family. We can keep playing this game like we not, right? But we part of the family. Everybody in your family don't all operate the same now. Come on. You just going to walk past that knowledge? Again, just because you don't believe the part of the family there that the other one does, don't make both y'all not no more family than the other. And these are some of the things, ladies and gentlemen, you know, again, we're just talking off the cuff tonight. Again, we ain't got on what the topic is yet, but we're laying groundwork right now. We're going to have to get past certain of these unnecessary prejudices, ladies and gentlemen. Those folks are our brothers and sisters that are dying over there right now. We stop looking things with the heart of compassion. We're looking at them with the eyes through deception, foolery, tomfoolery, as the old phrase goes. Tricks. Right? We talked about what the definition of fool is, as in a verb, not the noun. To fool you. Foolishness. In the language that we speak here, you can interchange things, right? That's what they built it on. Then told you how you have to speak. Ain't that funny, right? No, you didn't create language. So how you got control over? That's why, ladies and gentlemen, study other languages. What are we doing at this point? Again, if you're okay with a thing, this is not an attack on you, because this is another one of these defenses in the mind, man. He's attacking me. That ain't nobody attacking nobody, man. We're just talking. The new Captain America movie, man. Your boy went to see it tonight. Your boy went to see it this morning, right? However you want to look at it. And Lord, what a good movie it was, y'all. Why at this point, as we are talking early morning, night, however you want to look at it, right? Saturday and a Sunday. And this is half Sundays, half Saturdays thing and half the Sunday message, man, because there's some things that's got to be said here that should be said from pulpits. Now, we all sitting here clowning for Massa. You got on that good clown makeup. Okay, sorry. Saying whatever King Herod wants you to say. Hey, don't get mad at me. These things that I'm talking about didn't come from me first. They came from the maker, right? We playing with the good clown suit for Massa. Spread that division over here, okay? And then you go right over there. Wait, nope. Take these 4 or 5 words right here. Go over there. Spread that division over there, man. Again, in Him we move, live, and have our being. Folks down here, you need to leave them alone, right? And let the Maker do it. Do what that Maker do, and you do what you're supposed to do. That's it. We keep messing around in God's status, and we have messed the game up, man. This movie, y'all, I don't, I was just looking here at the ratings for it. And I want to say right now that the thing is sitting somewhere around 15%. Not 15, excuse me, 51. So it's a half and half, or shocking, right? Because that's how it is in life, kind of like it is in divorce. Half the folks staying together. Half the folks are going away. Right now, Rotten Tomatoes got it at 51%. All you got to do is just, again, Captain America is what I typed in. You could probably do Captain America Brave World, something like Captain America. This is a spoiler version, by the way, y'all. So for those who have not seen this movie, right, hold off on listening to this episode. I kind of gone a little bit in here, so this would be the point here where we may want to drop off, right, until you watch the movie. And then come on back and listen to the rest of the episode, right? So at least we gave you a little bit of content there before the beginning, okay? This is going to contain spoilers because we have to have a very serious conversation about what is going on with comic book movies. Like, do you all want to see the things that are in the comic books come on the movies, or do you not? You know what I mean? And this is where, as comic book fans, we got to stand up a little bit, because if this is something where you want to delve deeper than past Endgame, right, you're going to have to realize that comic books started to take a serious turn in the 2000s. Okay, they got away from Captain America's blonde-haired and blue-eyed, y'all, because you have to deal with racism. Interesting, right? And prejudice of the most broken sorts, right? We have to say it that way, okay? They use Eli Bradley when you watch, and I do see, if we're gonna have certain gripes, okay? Because listen. Let's not be naive, family, right? We know where the gripes are gonna go with this movie, okay? If these percentages don't rise, right? It's gonna be a lot of what they hide behind the word political. Again, the word politic, to politic, where you get political, means to talk about things of the city or state. I am very sorry for those who don't want to hear it in their music. They don't want to see it in their newspaper, barely. It's weird. Maybe that's the only place where you want to see it. Maybe, right? Some people skip on by. You okay? Again, like we said, the wall and around the wall, all right, y'all? Like the children of Israel. Again, for those of us in the family who understand it, like Jericho, places like these are black towns, but we'll leave that alone, right? We're talking about from the standpoint of the story itself, okay? My Christian brothers and sisters, we want to have a conversation about that. That's something side. That's a side conversation. Okay. Irregardless, right? You got the walls of Jericho. If you want that thing coming tumbling down, there's some work you're gonna have to put into it. You just can't sit there at the wall, right? We can't decorate the thing and make it look all nice, shiny. We're gonna have to name what it is and go around that thing, right? Leave that civilization behind. This is what Brave New World is all about, man. Can what we want? Do we want actual integration, or are we looking at kind of see this is a challenge to us all, right? Because this is what this movie is dealing with. The president, black folks working with the president. The Red Hulk is white, right? The president is white. We all know about Thunderbolt Ross. It was cool how they did Thunderbolt Ross and his and the way in the comics, getting a lot of this guy dealing with the comics. I think some people also forgot the movie Captain America and Winter Soldier. Because if you have a problem with espionage or certain things on a certain level, or how it is done with Now, Sam at the helm instead of Steve Rogers. All you got to do, again, black to white person, because let's be honest, right? Or we're going to do this thing where it just wasn't dressed up correctly, right? Or there wasn't enough action sequences. Again, when I'm watching The Winter Soldier, right? And again, this is why it's 50-50 right now. Because half of the folks think like this, and they have certain excuses and stuff, and the other half don't. And they either talk like me or more an advanced hybrid of what I'm saying, all that kind of stuff, right? Having Isaiah Bradley in this movie was necessary. You're going to see his grandson, right? And this is from the comics now. Eli Bradley is the Patriot. So, right, all hail USA. You're going to get your USA content for you. Okay, for the United States. See, here's the other thing is that, they it's not like they got away from America, y'all. It's just the one that has been made, right? The one that got everybody believing in is the way it's supposed to be. That's another reason why people get ticked off, right? Because they don't, this ain't what you seeing that good, 1776, right? The Negro is helping you in your household, okay? He's helping you bathe you as you get older, right? Because we took care of. Come on, right? Are we gonna act? We're gonna do this dance now, right? This is where all this is coming from now. That's come to a head while we have these movies like this now. Because again, the way Marvel was made, the way comic books were made, Superman had to not to mention that you had comic book heroes of Egyptian lore already. In mythology and stuff like that, because again, it's where you're pulling the Superman character from, right? Is a mythology. But again, when you look down on the black man, and they already knew and recognized certain things about the Negro, okay? We're just talking about what's at the heart of this movie that people are going to call political, y'all. But it's about city and state. We got to talk. When do we talk about it, y'all? You don't talk about it at the sports arena. Do we talk about it at the movies? We're getting this thing, but this is what they deal with in the comics, though, y'all. In looking up the character, First Nations experiment. That's about that. That was about our Native brothers and sisters that they experimented on in Canada. Again, this is not like the governments of the world don't know about this, right? Nutritional experiments conducted between 1942 and 1952 using indigenous children from residential schools in Alberta, British Columbia, Manitoba, Nova Scotia, Ontario. We can't act like they didn't know about this in the U.S., y'all. Well, are we going to do that? This is what it is, man. This is in the world. In the world, somebody is helping or somebody is hurting. That's how it. And you won't tell your kids that. See, this is why when y'all get ready for Young Avengers, man, because this is what you're gonna see. You're gonna see it. You're gonna see the stuff that you think is wrong. You're gonna see it, and you're gonna have to make a decision whether you think all this is hellbound, right? Or maybe they got you under some level of deception. It was cool how they used the leader in this show, right? If anything, see, if you want to have a critique, I've always been under the impression that they've rushed the character of the Hulk throughout this whole thing, right? Because the Hulk has a lot of stuff here, and people will get lost on the leader if you're really not into Hulk comic book history, right? Or at least just the history of it. You can give yourself just a brief overview to kind of help you keep up, right? You wouldn't have to be like a person who read through Hulk comics their whole life. But I think the way they made the leader was interesting. Okay, I'm used to the big bulbous green type of thing. They played a little bit off that. See, I can understand you having a critique with that, right? But the storyline and everything was very solid, man. Again, you had espionage in Captain America, the Winter Soldier. You had espionage in Captain America, Brave New World, right? The only difference is that the characters are different colors of skin tone, which shows the mental game that's going on, which is ironic because that's what they talk about in this movie is the mental game that's going on by the leader, how he is manipulating people and don't y'all, can't nobody see the correlation with that? Yeah, for the Christian brother and sister out here, right? Your Bible says. that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but we wrestle. Tap your neighbor one time, say, we wrestle against that which is principalities, powers, rulers of the darkness in this world, y'all. Now we have become very, we get spooky with it. God is not so much, right? Understand that while, you want to go back and forth, the devil and God, angels, demons, we're not taking that off the table. What we're saying is people are doing a thing to themselves, y'all. We're doing a thing to themselves. We're the ones that are choosing to make legislation, right, to X out one group of people or groups of people, right? Whether of your similar skin tone or other ones. Because again, you got a whole lot of stuff. The so-called white person is doing a whole lot of stuff to their own white woman. Or again, that's some old terminology, their own, right? To the white woman. See, again, you have to check yourself at the door, man. You don't own anybody. It's a powerful video from a Jamaican brother I saw today that I posted up on my Facebook page, and it's dealing with the tenets of life, right? That they go by. They're very similar indeed to Christian faith. This is what I mean about the Christians. You drop the facade, y'all. Be humble enough to understand from somebody else's religion, belief. Right? That's where real apologetics is. Again, God is the one that's doing the judgment on the thing, not you. Where did you come off being? You judge, jury, and executioners now? Clearly, that's what the issue was with the Templar Knights, man. That's why I can't wait for this new Assassin's Creed movie to come, video game to come out. The first couple have impressed me so much because they dealt with the Crusades, man. Well, we got to stop acting like that thing was a holy expedition. That wasn't. Part of that for protection of your own land. Yeah, you read that right in the history books. You can't, we can't get away from that. But some of that, this mess has gone too far. And ain't that similar same attitude that we have toward Israel right now? But the Bible don't. The destruction of Jerusalem happened a certain way, ladies and gentlemen. It happened because of their disobedience. You bow your knee to Nebuchadnezzar, right? Xerxes and the like. The Syria, Persia, all that kind of stuff going on, right? That's what was going on in world history back then. See, again, nobody wants to, see, when the Bible is telling you study to show yourself approved, we're talking study. The two coincide, man. Right? The earth is the Lord's, the fullness thereof, the world, planet, and the people that dwell therein. We have missed it, y'all. So that's just talking about this. I'm sorry, I got off on talking about that, but this is this. I don't want to make this not about the movie, okay? You got to introduce Isaiah Bradley because we're talking about one of the first black Captain Americas. So let me see if I can just pull it up real quick. I wonder sometimes when we go into the movies, man, what is we after? What is Isaiah Bradley, right? The character was made 2003. Again, we're talking after the 2000s here. Marvel went a different direction than Thor being white with the blonde hair and Cap being white with the blonde or the dark hair, depending on you talking Civil War or not, right? Come on, y'all. When do we not address certain issues, man? You're talking about systemic things done to erase a whole group of people and groups of people because you've got look across the planet, man. There's a clear line of dark skin tone people, man. Again, we talked to you about the Melanesian people, right? The Arawak people in Haiti or aka Haiti, Taino people from Puerto Rico, dark skin tone folks, man. We showed y'all how they called folks. They used to call them Moor. They identified them readily as who they were, man. We're not only talking about the people from West Africa, right, as far as Moors are concerned, but Moor is actually used to describe dark folks, not black. You mix in Negro because again, the skin tone, as the Spanish say, is near dark black. But they really weren't trying to name people per se. Anyway, with that in mind, man, we're talking why Isaiah Bradley is in this thing. You got to understand what it's talking about. The character is an early product of the Super Soldier program, codename Project Rebirth. Again, this is something you just, I am reading to you right off of Wikipedia. This ain't nothing like I've learned, man. And before we start doing this kind of thing, see, again, people use internet and they use things improperly. Use it to educate yourself on this world around you, man. We looking at comic book history. This is nothing. Let's stop the hoax, man. You let people lie to you, and they just keep lying to you, and then you the one look like the fool, and they don't. They wanted to see the Inherent editor Alex Alonso was taken by the idea of the inherent. This is the history of this character, of the political wrappings. Again, the discussion of city of state wrappings of a black man in red, white, and blue. You gonna have to. Hello, we here, y'all. Are we just the help? The way you look at the woman, the way you look at your kids, they're just acts in your play, or their lives built for more than that. When do we drop the excuses? We don't become any better until we do, right? It was cool that you had Bucky in there. We needed to see Bucky, right? Of course, you got Thunderbolts coming out, so a lot of these things are tying in. Don't think Marvel went anywhere because they did a movie about a black Captain America, y'all, okay? They're about making money, which is why certain things, if you want to come to certain conclusions, some of the animations and stuff looked a little gokey to me. Okay, I get that part of it. But the storyline in of itself, that thing was solid as could be. Solid as could be. Again, you want to give gaps and holes in it like there have been in Marvel movies of late. Okay, we can do that till the cows come home. But again, to go beyond that, because we're gonna hear these kinds of conversations from family and friends who see this movie, y'all. Let's stop the hoax. It was funny how in this movie they bring in Japan and U.S. still having beef, where we've seen that before. Again, war which deals in, when we talk on World War II, man, hey, listen, the U.S. did not have to clap back at Japan by bombing Nagasaki and Hiroshima. There was no need for that, right? You use your good God-given logic to make bombs just to kill people. That because there was an attack on naval ships does not mean you then turn that around and use it. And to this day, we have the same argument. And you know what you're hearing when you hear this repeat back at people? The hardness of people's hearts, man. Based out of the responses, or the effects, I should say, that is confusion and mix up, aka war, right? That's what we're walking into, is war mixed up. Because we ain't supposed to be fighting over each other. We fighting each other. What we fighting now? They brought in adamantium, which is cool, right? Again, you talking about the mutants. Shout out to the mutants one time, man, because after all this is over with the multiversal war, we gonna start talking about the mutants, family. See, again, we're talking comic book history. What do you think Stan Lee was writing when he wrote the stories of the mutants? When he wrote the stories of Captain America and the Falcon, right? Come on, y'all. Forgive my kind of pointedness and hypeness right now, but again, this movie got your boy hyped. This is at the heart of what we do here, y'all. We gotta understand if there's something that you don't like and you don't care about, man. There's more than enough. There's more than enough square miles on this good earth that God has made for us to live in peace. This idea here, where we get, y'all are all wrong, and we got to make legislation to put y'all all away somewhere in the deepest, darkest holes, so we don't have to see y'all no more, like they did to black babies born to white families back in this nation's twisted beginnings, man. No, I'm sorry. Okay, we gotta stop doing that, man. It's time for the mutants to have a say. I'm not saying those people are mutants. I'm saying those who have that type of mindset are calling in that. See, and that's one of the things you're gonna see come out when the mutant saga come out, y'all. This is why everybody like the X-Men, man. Come on, what do you think that's all about? So it was cool to see adamantium come out, right? How they're going to use it, we'll see as it goes forward. One of the previews was the Fantastic Four. Of course, it'll be interesting to see. Fantastic Four is something the comic book, going into the comic books and the movies, great comic books to read. But again, like most things with comic books, man, there's certain ones of these, they just don't treat them right. Fantastic Four has been one of those. DC Comics has been one of those, right? Star Wars, as of lately with this Disney trilogy mess, was one of those, man. Right? If we're going to retell these stories, retell it right. Speaking of retelling it right, man, the beautiful, beautiful dynamic between Anthony Mackie and Danny Rodriguez, man. Yo, shout out to y'all one time, man, on this movie. Yeah. Lord, we got to get over that thing between Hispanic, Latin folk, and black people being enemies to each other, man. You talk about mind control of the highest order for massa. That's a lie from the pit of hell, yo. Man, what was happening to us here in the United States was the same thing going on with our brothers and sisters in Puerto Rico, right? The Dominican Republic, Cuba. You got this man talking that mess about Panama. Portugal, right? Think about your history, family. Europe, messing around with the dark skin and tan skin tone peoples of this planet, man. We're going to have to square away with that to bring proper healing and respect, man. You know, again, we talk about this with our European brothers and sisters. You love them, man. There ain't no more time to ride to hiding from this, riding around like you don't know what's going on, man. It's time to, hey. Is there going to come a penalty from those who don't care about you? Of course, man. The way they show Sidewinder and Leader in this movie, man, you know clapback is coming. But what do you choose to stand for, man? What do you choose to stand for? We're just gonna lay down? Is that where we at now? Again, this is not this the little another one of these little defenses they do. Oh, you inciting violence. Ain't nobody inciting no violence. Just like Malcolm X wasn't inciting no violence. You got to protect yourself against those who mean to hurt you. That don't mean you hurt them on purpose. That don't mean you go out there looking to hurt people. We know. Righteousness deals in harming no one, bringing harm to no one. Again, love does no ill to their neighbor. So the same one that everybody is claiming that they love and God loves everybody, man, y'all back off. There's no ill. There's no ill. Let it rock. But that's the problem. People can't let it go. Right. These are some of the things. Again, Pharaoh couldn't let go Israel. Didn't want to. Didn't want to. Had sorcerers right out at the front door fighting Moses to keep him, man. Didn't want to let him go. I'm at the point where I'm not walking past these truths anymore. We're not doing that, man. I'm not doing that no more. There's nothing to be gained by doing that. I only aided my brother or sister's death, man. We had enough killed in Chicago last year. You had attacks in Rochester, mass gun shootings and stuff. This messed in the minds of people to not use defense properly. This was the kind of stuff that was talked about in this movie, y'all. These are one of the complaints that people are going to have, man. Do you know how many of these types of movies used to come out when I was a kid, man? You got to talk about a thing if you want healing, and this is going to be the same thing that people use as a critique for this movie? Negative critique, I mean, not a positive one. No, you got to talk about these things, man, right? It was cool how they been speaking of the Winter Soldier and Captain America. It was kind of cool how they used the correlation between the girl there that's from the Red Room, right? Because again, when you watch the old one, Black Widow, right? Shout out to Natasha. One time, right? Scarlett Johansson one time, man, stunning all the boys and the girls in that black outfit when she first came out at the beginning of the Marvel cinematic universe, man. Come on. All right, but again, no different how she's dressed in the comics. They draw the same way. You know what a badass female spy gonna look like? Come on, y'all. Right? It doesn't mean that's just that prototype, because I know or stereotype, I should say, because we already know. We already know the mental game they have done on our dear sisters. That a woman got to look a certain way, and to be badass, got to nope. And it's the same thing in this. Is the president going to sit there, and we saw it in the previews, but you see it in the movie. And you ain't Steve Rogers. What that mean? I ain't Steve Rogers. Who cares whether I'm Steve Rogers? Not I'm me. see, this is at the heart. This is where greed attacks the heart of a thing. It starts to break down a person, right? and starts making predisposed conditions of what a person got to look like. But in God we are made, we move and have our being, is what your Bible says. Can people take things out of context, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, of course they can. But the base element, the foundation, the fundamental nature of a thing, we live under a more open heaven than what we know, right? And you didn't have Christians and people and holy people and scholars and all this kinds of stuff. They've been arguing about this for since the human time, okay? To show you both sides of a thing. Again, no wonder this thing is at 51%, not because this was a bad movie, because it's striking at the heart of things that people are 50-50 over. No, this movie was good, man. Danny Rodriguez put on a show. It's going to be good to see him. Again, what you see is that they're starting up the Avengers now. All right. So you get ready for your Kate Bishop. Again, I'm assuming on the back end here, you're going to, or at least the Young Avengers, you're going to see Eli Bradley. Again, they've already talked about this with Isaiah Bradley. All right. You know, Joaquin Torres, a.k.a. Falcon, a.k.a. the actor who's playing him is Danny Rodriguez. He's going to be back for a bit. Anthony Mackie going to be back for a bit. It's going to be good to see him grow in his character, y'all. Right? Again, like we said, I think I said it at the beginning of this conversation here. Does the black person have a seat at the table or not? I know we like to deflect and, oh, you know, what about the white people? See, again, when we're talking in the slave class, the only ones that are in part of that slave class are the poor white people. The rest of them are cool. for the most part. That isn't until master turn on you too. Again, we're talking about how greed works, man. There's no honor among thieves. That statement is real, right? Speaking of the statement of thieves, man, this thing with Cat Williams resurfacing, talking about what ain't Mexico, and then getting on this dude. Again, yeah, I don't know. You know, I can't speak for the brother and where his mental's at and all that kind of thing. Everybody got a different process, right? Okay. Again, we're talking this 50-50. At the end of the day here, man, right? Same thing 50-50 in the home. The man thing, he's supposed to run the show, and you X out your wife as a result. Let's stop the cap, y'all. Right? You won't listen to your kids and the complaints that they have, things that's going on with them. You're going to miss it. You're going to hurt them. That thing just recycles back around, man. And that's what we're dealing with today. I think they mentioned that in that movie, this whole kind of thing where we pass this down. Yeah, Eli Bradley in jail, man. Talking to what a powerful scene that was, man. I don't want to pass this down to you. You pass this mess down to your kids. You pass this racist mess down to your babies. This sexist trash to your daughters, man. Then you sit back in your payaso, look at them. Why they look? I don't understand why you look like that. They trying to find the balance between all the garbage you gave them how to be. You have to sit this way, and you have to eat that way, and handle this way. Again, you can get into your pseudo offense if you want to, but this is the truth behind the matter. The quicker we get a hold of it, ladies and gentlemen, the more healing that we can bring. All these different kinds of things. How you date. The boy got to come up to you, man. The way it is today, man, ladies, you go get that man. You see that man is good. Sometimes these nerds, these geeks, they can't talk to women, man. Stop waiting for them to give you that first kiss. Go talk to them. You know, man. Between this movie and the combination of watching and with the E, Lord, I swear, man. Whew. No, man, we 38 minutes in. We gonna ride out, y'all. Again, end of the movie there. Leader letting you know some real stuff is coming. Okay, so you're gonna see all your old characters. So don't worry. Those who got a problem looking at who, we just gotta say what it is, man. You got a problem looking at a witch's son, right? And you don't want to see a thief's daughter, because that's all Stature is, right? Ant-Man, Scott Lang, when they get that all together, Stature going to be part of the Young Avengers, right? So a thief's daughter, making good on the father's promises. Yes, and amen to that, man. To the kids out there redeeming the sins of their parents. Come on now, because that thing come down to the third and fourth generation. That's what your Bible says. Children got a lot of amending to do off their parents' wrong. It is what it is, right? Trying to think if there's anything that I really missed. Action sequence was cool. I understand that they were reaching a little bit there. See, again, I could understand that critique there, even though I think Anthony Mackie still put it down. I thought the fight that they showed in the sequence in the preview scenes was cool to see the whole thing finish out. It gives a texture, it gives a feel to this Captain America. It's different than Steve Rogers, man. Right? Again, we all get into this. We go a little bit too far. He was a skinny kid from Brooklyn, y'all. Right? If you watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you see that, especially as the dynamic between Bucky and they begin to learn each other more than just two superheroes on a team, right? It gets a little bit deeper, kind of like marriage is, friendship is, right? Brother and sisterhood is. You learn and you see each other's impactful, beautiful, masterful design by the maker, right? You see it right out the jump. That's what attracts you to the person. But then that's part of the law of attraction. But the things then after that occur, that's where the work is put in. That's where the patience is put. That's where the long suffering is. That's where the love beyond all things comes from, y'all. That's why people are so quick to break up on certain things. Man, you got to hang in that thing a little bit, man. Again, we're not advocating like domestic violence and sexual abuse. Please get away from those. And don't get me wrong. I understand why those defenses are there, because people have, which could be with some other ones, but we're talking about where these defenses have hurt us more than helped us, right? Certain protections you have, if you go too far, then it stops you from moving forward, right? No one's saying you don't need the protections, but they can cause us to go too far, just the same, right? It's all about balance, family, for us all, me included. Yeah. Sidewinder did good. That was the dude who was freaking trying to blow him up through the whole movie. Sidewinder was good. He was also the dude in The Mandalorian. The guy was wielding the black saber, Moff Gideon, something like that. Yeah, but it was cool. The movie was just a good movie overall. Whether they put Seth Rollins in there or not, it really wouldn't change the thing. I actually would have rather Giancarlo Esposito, I believe is the brother's name, who played Sidewinder. It just gave it some grittiness to it, you know. It tied it in a little bit better. Right. And you see them two interact, the leader and Sidewinder, at the end of the thing. So they're gonna have some link to this, y'all. So buckle in, man. Get ready to look at something different than what you've seen. Okay? Again, I can understand some of these critiques with animation, some storytelling. Maybe certain things were rushed. You would want certain things to take time, so you had some context. Again, if you don't watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, there may be some things that you miss along the way in watching this movie. There's certain context that you will miss. I think they tried to tie it together as best as you could to be able to watch it as a standalone movie per se without the TV shows. But guys, this is the investment. Yeah, again, comic book heroes, comic book heads, stand up one time, man. This is what we're talking about, right? Or is it not? They ain't gonna tell it full, but at least they've put to an extent, right? That they've given this. And again, our cry is necessary when they go too sideways, especially like with Star Wars and DC Comics, right? Hopefully, this Superman movie puts in that work, right? We'll see. But that's what I got for y'all today. I don't want to. I've been going long lately, so my apologies, family. But again, we just wanted to have this conversation here before y'all go see this movie again. Like we always say on this podcast, go see these movies for yourself, right? And understand, follow the information, the knowledge for yourself, even from what you hear from me. See it for yourself. And again, there's comments in this thing, you know. Let's use them, y'all. We'll just spread it along, right? Spread it along. So yeah, there's just some of my thoughts here. The spoiler version, again, of Captain America. A brave new world, and indeed a brave new world. If we are to hold hands with each other in this life, man, we're gonna have to shed aside some of this mess that and looking at Captain and the Winter Soldier, then was Russia. Everything was Russia. Where we've seen that before, right? With the Cold War, parts of World War, maybe not World War One, but World War Two, if not both. Again, y'all correct me on that one. I believe it's more World War Two with Stalin and such than in one. But again, most of all these fights in Europe, man, Europe always fighting, y'all. Europe always fighting, man. Yeah, European brothers and sisters, man. Too much fighting, man. Too much fighting, right? So that's what I got for y'all today / tonight, family, right? Thank y'all for walking this road with me, for listening to this episode with me. Nothing but love for y'all. Thank you very much. We will talk to you soon. We'll catch up with you next time. And as always, and of course, until next time, look to find the beauty in a different view.